And if you are joining us for the first time, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you've not headed over to YouTube, check it out, subscribe to my channel, and of course, hit the bell to get all of the latest content as soon as it is uploaded. I have the pleasure of doing my Sipping with Sue time with two amazing individuals that I love so much. Hello, Alyssa and Ryan. Cheers.
Hello,
Cheers.
So, what are you guys drinking? Ryan was saying he's drinking something funky and fun.
Yeah, it's a sour beer. It has like this kombucha kind of taste to it. It's something that this is my first time trying it actually. So,
Is
And
it
you
good?
like
it's pretty good so far.
Awesome. Kombucha beer. Interesting. I'll have to try it. Alyssa, what do you got?
I have white wine, and
Oh, white wine.
I don't know what brand it is either, but it tastes like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. My red wine I have no idea, but it's all good. It's all good. But so we've
Gets
got
the job
Alyssa.
done.
Yes, exactly. So we've got Alyssa and Ryan with us. We are chatting with real people doing real things extraordinarily here on Sipping with Sue time. And we are to the end of another week. So again, cheers and cheers to the weekend, TGIF. So with Ryan and Alyssa, we're going to chat about how they followed their own path that was a little bit outside of the status quo and a little against the grain, right? So just we'll get started with you guys just telling our folks just a little bit about you guys and what you guys are doing, where you're out in the world, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So we met 5 years ago at Tesla. We worked there for a couple of years and dated pretty much right off the bat, and then got married back in July. And we got married on the USS Midway in San Diego. So that was really fun, and glad that you and Juan were there as well. But throughout our relationship, we found that we both really enjoy traveling. We both enjoy seeing different parts of the world. Some people have a worldview. The world is so big, there's so much to see. But in my point of view, it's so small. We could literally go on a flight in an hour and be somewhere totally different culture, different language, within half a day. So it just seems like there's so much to see.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to that, the world is so big, but it's all about perspective. I think it's all about, again, you could hop on a flight for less than what you're going to probably buy somebody for a Christmas present and buy yourself something. So that's the way we kind of view it is, experiences over materials. And I think that's probably like one of the main common grounds that we have, and one of the big reasons why we get along so well.
Yep.
Awesome.
So we've traveled. I don't know how many cities we've been to, but yep, we're about 30, about the age, and there's still a lot more to explore.
Yeah.
So you're both 30.
I'm 29.
29, and Ryan, you're
Just turned 30.
just turned 30. So 29 and 30, and then you guys are currently in California right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're living out.
Right. So what are you both doing now for work?
I work at Cisco. I'm in cybersecurity sales.
And then I work as a consultant for startup companies, so software companies, so pre-seed, seed, Series A companies on their go-to-market strategy. So that's sales, customer success, and growth. And now starting to build out kind of this freelance side of my business to fund our traveling. So that's mainly focused on marketing, like SEO, digital marketing for a specific industry. So right now focusing on hospice companies, senior living, healthcare companies.
Awesome. So you guys just got married, and you worked at Tesla. You started dating in 2019. So I want to go through that whole beginning story of how you guys met and came together, and then the sequence of events that happened after, which some of it blew my mind as an older person, but I know for a fact that your dad was all like, what the heck, right? Mom and dad, Alyssa, were like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you doing? Ryan, your parents were probably like, what are you guys doing? But just tell us, what you guys did is not probably, again, it's against the grain. It's not really what most people do, because most people follow a specific sequence of events as their life goes on. You go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get a job, you do this, and this, right? And you have the sequence of events, and you guys didn't really do that. So take us through what you guys did in 2019. You guys met in Tesla, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I mean, we met probably tail end of 2017. So in 2019, we decided to quit our jobs. And yeah, to your point, Alyssa's parents thought it was crazy. I mean, we were only dating for a year solid, and we said, hey, like, let's both leave and just travel the world for 3 months. And yeah, it was something that before that, I've never traveled the world. Maybe when I was younger, Mexico and Philippines, but I never really did anything like this before. So it was something that was new to me. And yeah, it was just kind of one of those things where we both had this urge and the desire to want to go see different things and experience different things together. And so when we both quit in May 2019, we planned out this whole entire, we want to go to Europe, we want to go to these cities. It was like Ireland, Greece, Italy, Germany, but we didn't really have a plan. And so what we did was we basically just booked a one-way flight to Ireland, and we're like, all right, we'll figure it out from there. And so for those 3 months, everything was off of our phone. We were booking Airbnbs, booking hotels, getting car rentals straight off of hotels.com app, Hertz and all the apps. And so it was definitely out of my comfort zone, but we definitely learned a lot, and definitely an experience for sure. And I think that kind of set the tone, the baseline of how we'd like to travel in the future. Because again, like, we've never traveled before. It was our first time traveling, and I didn't know if she's the type of person who needs something. Like, I need an itinerary, I need hotels, beforehand. So she probably didn't know the same thing about me as well. And so it was kind of just like this learning experience for each other. I mean, a lot of patience.
Yeah.
We basically just dove into the deep end of it. But, definitely a great experience.
Yeah, we learned a lot about each other on that trip. I'm the type of person who likes to have an itinerary, who likes to go on tours at 10 a.m. and, figure out our day after that. And Ryan's the type to sleep in and
just relax.
So we found a happy medium through it, and
through 3 months.
Throughout those 3 months.
Yeah,
I learned to relax more, and I think he saw a little bit more value in doing those more cultural tours and stuff like that. So we just came back from a month and a half trip in South America, and it was super easy. We knew exactly what we both wanted to do, and we both already have earned that respect for each other. So that made it a lot easier.
So how did you do it? I mean, you guys both quit your jobs at Tesla, and then you took a 3-month hiatus and went to go travel all over Europe. I mean, how did you do it? How did you prepare? Well, you said you didn't really prepare for it. It was kind of ad hoc. You got there, booked that one-way ticket, and then we're kind of doing things on the cuff. But how did you get through that with a finite budget? Because most folks I know, myself and Juan, I mean, we have a annual trip every single year that we literally budget for. You know what I mean? So we have a budget for that. I mean, we usually blow our budget every year for wherever we're going. But I mean, we have a kind of roundabout, okay, this is how much money we'll need to go ahead and make this trip happen. So how did that work?
Yeah, honestly, I would say we're just really lucky and blessed, honestly, to be in the roles that we were at. We were at Tesla. We were at a time. We both joined at a time where the company was going through a lot of turmoil. Everyone thought that the company was going down. And so I think for us, it was just, we took advantage of, ESPP, just buying stock of the company, but having that kind of goal of, we want to travel, we want to do these things in Italy, have these experiences in Greece and Santorini. And so I think it was just all about, understanding like the number that we had while adding on like a cushion or buffer. Because yeah, to your point, I mean, we splurged a little bit. we definitely blew past our, our budget of what we wanted to spend. And so I think it was just more so of the role that we were in at Tesla was.
But we're also very cautious too. Like we weren't eating out every day. If we found $2 euros on the street, like that was our dinner. And we usually don't eat breakfast, so we don't have to budget for breakfast. Although we did have like a few nice dinners, it wasn't like that was all the time. Most of the time we were just grabbing street food or just eating on the go, because food, I think, is the most expensive part of traveling. And there's also free walking tours in almost every major city, and you tip them what you think that you should tip them for what the tour would be, and that saved a lot as well. So I think that we found different ways to save money, but we've also found ways to enjoy our time.
Gotcha. How many countries did you guys hit up in those 3 months?
I want to say 9.
Oh, wow. Was it 9? Was it that many?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we saw you guys in Belgium, so that was one country.
That's one.
which was so random. We just happened to be there, and then they were there too, and it was crazy.
That was amazing. It was
yeah.
Cool. I think we were also there during Tour de France, and so we got to see the decorations, everything set up. So.
Yes. Yeah. That was super cool. Yeah. So 9 countries in 3 months. That's nuts. And all on ad hoc, like, hey, we're just gonna get up and go. And so now you guys you're spun up, you're working for Cisco, you're working for your startup, and you just came off also of was it your honeymoon?
Yeah.
So it was your honeymoon, but it was a month and a half. So tell us a little bit about that.
So it was like a working moon. We both work from home.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just more so of like we knew there was specific times, or this trip was actually a lot more. It was planned out versus our previous trip to Europe. So for our honeymoon, we knew we wanted to do it in Buenos Aires. We wanted to do it in San Miguel in Mexico. So we had like certain parts of the trip where it was just like, okay, no working. We need to take PTO on these days or these weeks. It's strictly for our honeymoon. And the other times it was, we work remote anyway, so why not enjoy it in another country versus sitting at our desks here back home in Alameda, staring at a white wall, and so kind of mix the two together. But there was for sure, we set boundaries and a fine line between, all right, we want to have our honeymoon these days, and then we could work these other days.
So a lot of folks are fully remote. So after COVID, a lot of folks definitely have gotten that, like, hey, we're working fully remote, and a lot of people really enjoy it. So, and I think the shift is happening for that. So what's your take on what you guys will be doing in the future as far as how you're planning your path as we go forward? Because you guys have done like a ton of stuff already. And so what does it look like for like the next couple of years for you guys as you kind of work on, what you guys will be doing? Will it be something where, hey, we're going to do, split months in different countries and see the world and work remote as well? Or what's next for you guys?
We're kind of playing it by ear. While we were out there, I just had this epiphany. So we recently also just bought a townhouse, and I was thinking, if we just have someone sublet our house for 6 months, we could go travel and do this and do more countries before we're ready, like fully settled down. We definitely do want to have kids soon, but we do want to travel a little bit more. I feel like there's still a lot of countries that we want to go to. I mean, while we're in South America, you find out more countries just by talking to other travelers that you wouldn't necessarily hear about on social media or Instagram. You can Google something and figure it out, but it's always better to hear like firsthand where you should go. And it just, I don't think it'll ever end. There's going to be countries that are safe to bring your children. We'll bring our kids with us one day. Like, I don't see us ever, stopping.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think to Alyssa's point, we always, and I think this is something actually too. We both brought up in our vows was, when lovers stop traveling, or I've found my adventure partner, and so yeah, I think to that point too, it's we know we want to have kids in the future, um, but that won't stop us from going back to Europe, going back to Italy, going to Antarctica on an excursion or something, and so I think to that point too, it's kind of just we're not gonna limit ourselves, but I mean, obviously there's gonna be years like down years. We'll have to stay put for a while, but I think that's why we're saving the U.S. for that. I think for us, like there's so many places that we haven't gone to, so many states that we haven't gone to, but strategically planning it out of, all right, we should do those when we can't travel internationally, or it's not safe or whatever. So I think it's still kind of planning things out on a map, which is something that we do want to get. It's kind of like this world map on the wall and have pins of each of the places that we go to so that we can visually see it every day. Yeah, we're never going to stop being adventurers and travelers.
And interested, right? So is your influence, both of you, either or, you both have a different take. What was your influence as far as travel goes? Who inspired you or influenced you to get out there and go travel? And the second part of my question would also be, what do your friends think? What is your generation doing as far as, is it something similar or is it more of the traditional route?
Yeah, I think for me, for me, like growing up, no one in my family really went anywhere. They haven't been to Europe, or, I mean, other than maybe like their home country, but traveling wasn't something that they did. And I think for me, it was a little bit of social media of having like, wow, that place is beautiful. I wish I could go there one day. And again, before Alyssa and I went in 2019 to Europe, my mindset was, I wish I can go there one day. Oh, I'd love to go there. Or, wow, like when I'm older, when I have more money, like I'd love to do that. But I think it was like this kind of trigger of, why not do it now? I'll spend $1,000 for my iPhone when I can buy, a $500 flight to Argentina round trip. So it's like, it's all about, again, like perspective on how you see things. And so for me, it was like that switch of, let's do it now. Like, why am I waiting for, going to Italy when I just bought the new, latest iPhone, or what, So I think that was just kind of a self moment for me, where like the flip kind of switched.
Mm-hmm. So I am the type of person to speak things into existence. My first trip abroad was to Paris when I was 19 years old. And I was really scared. I was really nervous about just going out of country and not really knowing who I'm going with either. I know I was going with the school, but I didn't know who my colleagues would be. But I just kept telling myself, I'm going to do this. And, fortunately I was able to do that. But I think without knowing, my influence was also my grandmother, my abuelita. She also had the travel bug, and she traveled a lot throughout her life. She not just going to Mexico, but she went to Rome. She went to different parts of South America. She really had her own type of travel bug in herself. So I think genetically, I might have, that passed down to me, where they're like, my abuelito was just telling me when we were in Mexico that she would say, "Hey, let's go on this road trip 3 hours away," and they would go together. They'd be in Mexico by themselves for a couple months, and he would go on the weekends, and they would just drive around, and they would take short flights to other parts. And growing up, I didn't hear too many of the stories, but now that we are traveling, my abuelito's like, "You remind me so much of your grandmother," and I think that makes me really happy. So I'm glad to share that with Ryan as well, and kind of be contagious in that way. And I think my friends too, they are learning that as well, that it's you just have to book your flight. You just have to get there, whether it's 6 months in advance or 3 months in advance. It really opens your eyes up to the world, and I think helps you become more of an empathetic person too, because you appreciate what you have here in the States. Even if you're going to Europe, Europe's a really well-off country. Things are different, and when you come home, every time I come home, I'm just so amazed of what we have here.
Gotcha. And then what do your friends think? I mean, are your friends doing similar things to you guys? Like for your generation, like as a whole, what do you think? Do you guys think that you're doing something against the grain, or is it something that you guys are all doing? Because normally it literally is backwards. Like, you retire and then you go travel the world. But I think more and more people are seeing it a different way. And as we're getting, seeing younger and younger generations, they're probably itching for it too. What do you all think?
Yeah, I think, I think, biggest thing is social media plays such a big role into it. I think for a lot of our friends, colleagues, and just like, people around our age, a lot of travelers that we've met, are kind of doing the same thing. So earlier this year when I went to Colombia, I met people from Texas, Miami, who were working for tech companies who were doing the same thing of, I want to work in a different country, experience different things versus just being at home, staring at the white wall that I have and being at my desk. And so I think more and more now, as the shift of working remote is starting to become the norm, let's go ahead and work in a different country. Even now when we were in South America, we met so many just travelers who were there for like 3 months or as long as they can before they get in trouble or before they need a visa. They'll leave for a day and then come back to the country. There's so many stories that we heard through our time, but I think now, those around our age are starting to travel a lot more. And I think, again, kind of going back to Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, of that itch of like, oh man, like my friends are doing it, I want to go do it. And I love that though. I love that it's contagious because, again, I think the more you travel, the more empathetic you are, the more just open-minded you are. And so I continue to look on that, and I'm excited, as the generations, hopefully younger and younger, keep on traveling. It's, now hopefully people become, learn 2 languages, 3 languages, different multilingual, and, being able to communicate with others around the world. So.
Yeah, for sure. I know in America, we do not do a good job of that. But in other countries, like you've been to Europe, Europeans will sit there and they're multilingual. They know a bunch of different languages. So, yeah.
Another interesting person that I met when we were in Colombia earlier this year, it was, a college student, or no, it was a high school student from England, but he was taking like a gap year. But he was just traveling to Colombia by himself. And he was like, yeah, I'm taking a gap year before I start, at my university. And I just traveling South America on his own. I think he was like 18. But it's just crazy to see that, like other countries like Europe, a lot of Europeans do that. It's pretty normal for them. So, I wish here in the U.S. it's kind of
not for us. Yeah, it's totally different. But like you said, I think we see it. You guys are getting into your 30s, or you're just at the 30, late 20s and stuff like that, and you'll start seeing it younger and younger to where folks are going to want to do that. And again, it does open your mind to a whole new aspects, and empathy is part of it, and just learning other cultures and then understanding other cultures is really awesome to just come back and feed into ours. So because we're a melting pot, right? So it's any advice or insights for those that feel the same, like that you guys both do, for enjoying life, for traveling, for doing what your heart feels like the best is at this moment, and say, hey, I'm going to quit my job. I want to go travel. I want to go do X, Y, and Z. Like any insights or advice to folks on like the things you guys have done and where you are today. I mean, you guys are enjoying life. You guys are a wonderful couple and fabulous. And so what would y'all tell other people?
I would start with if you're thinking of, if you don't have the ability to work from home, and you're thinking of switching jobs, definitely give yourself time in between to travel. That way you don't have to wait for your PTO to accrue or wait to, go in the middle of something. It feels really good to be traveling without, I guess, priorities. No, without
having, yeah, I mean,
without being tied to anything.
Sure.
So I would say if you're able to do that, go for it. If you can work from home, it's really cool to travel and meet other people who are also working. There are different types of hostels. They're not like the hostels that you're thinking of where there's like 8 bedrooms to a room. Like there's apartments. You can sleep by yourself. You can have 2 people. You can have a family even. But, there's hostels that also have co-working spaces that have really strong Wi-Fi, so you can still do your job during the week and then see the world, travel on the weekends or in the evenings, and that's what we did. I would just say try your best to make it work. Just go somewhere new once a year. Get your passport. Renew it on time also, so you never have to have that excuse. But yeah, I think that's my advice. Do you have advice?
Yeah, I think, again, it's just not pushing anything out, like not procrastinating it. I would even say that, it's doing it now. I think one of the things that, when I talk to a lot of just professionals, those like retired too, it's kind of this one theme that always comes across. It's like, what if you wish you've done more, when you're younger? Just travel and spend time with family. And so I think like the more that I hear, like have actually heard that, and the more it's consistent. It's like there's a reason why it's consistent, and I should probably do something or act on it or take that advice to heart. And so I think that's what it is. Again, it's like I probably wouldn't have gone anywhere. I probably would have still like I'm gonna wait later on till I can travel. But just acting on it now is the best thing to do. It's that action, right? So
Awesome. Get it done now, folks. I mean, we're not getting any younger for real. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No excuses.
No excuses. Yeah, just go for it. I love that you guys are fearless. Like, I really commend you guys for getting out there and doing it. I don't like I went into the military at 18, but for me to follow the trajectory that everybody knows, lives, and thinks in the U.S. for a very long time. Again, things have changed. But for me to have gone to school and then to college and then to my next job, to get married, I mean, I commend you guys for doing it your own way and then paving your own path. So awesome. But so thank you guys. I'm glad to have you guys on. It's nice to see you. It's been a while. It's been since the summertime since I've seen you both. So yeah.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah.
Great.
Good. So before I let you go, I always like to do a just for fun speed round with all of my guests. So y'all ready?
Good.
And either of you can answer however you do it. Actually, if you answer at the same time and it's different, I think that'd be awesome. Because again, you're also newlywed. So I want to see how well you know each other too. Okay. Favorite place favorite place you visited together?
Okay. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Wait.
More specifically, Cinque Terre in Italy. 5 little towns along the coast.
Cinque Terre. Okay. Do you agree, Alissa?
Yeah. I wasn't going to say that, but now that he brings it up, it is my favorite.
What were you going to say?
Mykonos, Greece.
Oh, wow. Those are 2 totally different countries. All right, newlyweds. All right, beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Beach.
It's funny because whenever we're booking things, I'm like, even if there's a beach nearby, I still want to stay like in the jungle with the 10-minute drive to the beach.
Yes.
I'm like,
I agree.
on the beach, on the sand.
Yeah, so Ryan, you're Juan, and Alissa, we're the same.
Yeah.
So I'm all like, I need to be in the mountains. He's like, no, I need to be at the beach. So we try to kind of, placate the situation when we book travel and try to do a little bit of both. All right, so who rules the house?
I do.
Buster.
Buster, yes. God.
Yeah, I was thinking Buster did, but Alyssa's like, no, I do. Queen.
I walk him, I feed him, but Buster loves Ryan more for some reason.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, so if money wasn't an issue, what would you own if you wanted to own something, or where would you go?
A private jet.
Oh. Ryan?
I would say a spaceship. I would love to go to the moon and Mars and explore outside. So
Wow.
once
All right.
once Elon has that up, I'd love to be the first on there.
Wow. All right. So private jet, and we're going to the moon. Awesome. Well, thank you both. Love you both. And for everybody else, TGIF again. Have a fantabulous weekend. I hear Buster.
Yeah. Buster, you want to say hi?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh, no.
No. Okay. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.